Welcome to video 2. In the last video, we covered why the podcast distribution networks are literally the best way for you to grow your audience and authority, to gather an avalanche of targeted subscribers, and to turn those subscribers into fans, who are proven to turn into paying customers time and time again. In recent years, internet marketing has changed for the better. You may have noticed that most of the top internet marketers right now are giving value rather than selling. And by selling less, they're actually making way more money. They have realized that rather than going out there and marketing at people, which none of us like or on the receiving end, it is far better to go out and give content that relates to the interests of your potential customer. This creates goodwill, engagement, and strengthens the relationship. It also helps your audience get to know, like, and trust you. This means they are way more likely to become fans and loyal subscribers, stay focused on what you're doing, and eagerly purchase your products or services. And the great news is, creating podcast content is literally the easiest type of content to create. So when you combine the gigantic reach of these distribution networks that can get you in front of potentially millions of targeted people relatively quickly, and the effectiveness of simple content marketing that many of the top marketers are doing right now to get more customers than ever before, with the convenience of creating the quickest and easiest content to create, you end up with a powerful audience building, list generating, and customer getting storm that you simply cannot ignore. And to show just how powerful this combination can be, let's hear from some ordinary people who have generated extraordinary results using these methods.
When I launched my podcast, I was not the only person that was doing an interview-based podcast. It was a launch of pure faith because, again, I had no online presence. I had absolutely zero broadcasting experience. So I'm collecting email addresses to the tune of about 100 to 150 per day. Because as a podcaster, you are an authority figure. You have credibility with listeners who know, like, and trust you. We've done over 9 million downloads to date, and I've been able to create a business that now generates over $2.5 million in revenue on an annual basis.
So I've had a pretty successful podcast. It actually surprised me at how well it's done with how little work I've put into it. So I jumped into it. Now what's been great about this, prior to the show, I didn't have a lot of exposure. I was always behind the scenes making a good living and enjoying it, but I didn't have the exposure of who is Brad, what's he all about, what's in his brain. And since then, it's been really great because the audience members have just really shown up. I've done surprisingly little in the way of really marketing the show.
And it wasn't until I started the podcast, really, where my brand as the Incompressed blog really took off. People started to know me. They started to learn more about me, learn what I've done before, where I came from to what I'm doing now. I mean, it's just one of those things where, you put yourself in a position as like the leader, as an expert, when no one knows you. And that's basically what I did. I managed to turn just an idea, that came out of the actual podcast show into now multiple six-figure a year business. And the first year when we launched that, and it was right from the show where I started talking about it more, about my themes, about podcast themes, and building that audience, that list. That first year, I think we generated just under $30,000. Okay, the second year now we're over $180,000. Okay, by the end of the year, it's going to be well over $200,000. If it weren't for podcasts, I don't think I would have gone as far as I've done. I got to thank podcasting for coming into my life and career.
So, there's no question at this point that any smart marketer absolutely needs to make podcasting a priority in their business. I believe we are very fortunate to be running online businesses in this era of easy mass distribution, where getting in front of millions of people is now a very real possibility for anyone who simply uses the methods we have covered so far in these videos. The opportunity is right here for the taking. We have created the tools that make sure you are armed and ready to dominate and hit the ground running from day one. Benjamin Franklin said it best: "You may delay, but time will not." The time to capitalize on this is now. And whilst the results you've seen in the video are extremely accessible compared to other forms of marketing, until now it's actually been pretty tricky and time consuming to set up. Busy marketers simply don't have time to figure out all the different plugins, WordPress installations, RSS feeds, distribution services and techniques. It's been a technical challenge, time-consuming and confusing, and most people have been flying blind. Until now. Following on from the tradition that we have set for creating industry-leading software that helps smart marketers elevate their business and save time whilst boosting their profits, we have created the ultimate software product that is drag and drop simple and that allows you to immediately create and publish your podcasts and distribute them to the hundreds of millions of people in the distribution networks. It will automatically track your listeners so you can see exactly what's working and what's not, and use that groundbreaking intel to turn them into subscribers as effectively as possible. And that's just scratching the surface. It also comes with a whole range of extensive audio marketing features that help you maximize your profit from those subscribers. It's an industry-leading, groundbreaking new software that takes this amazing opportunity and catapults it to the next level, and we'll be unveiling it for the first time in the next video. So, if you're looking for something to find you more leads and customers that become raving fans so you can market your products and grow your audience and business, you will want to watch the next video where we unveil this amazing new software. We haven't shared it with anyone except close friends and colleagues, but when they see it, they can't wait to get their hands on it. So keep an eye on your inbox for video 3, where we take you behind the scenes into the software and show you how it's going to help you build an audience for your business, potentially gain thousands of subscribers, and encourage customers to eagerly beat a path to your door to buy your products.